And we're putting this on the Gutterbones actually because Rotting can already get through a Boreal Grazer. So turning it into a 10 power instead of a 7 power, like they're still just going to chum block, right? No damage gets through. However, we throw it onto the Gutterbones, it goes up to a 5-2. Now, you know, they block the 7-6, we get in with 5 damage. All's well that ends well. What's up everybody, my name's Chance. Today we're going to be hopping into some ranked Magic with Dany T Law's Flying Kroxa deck. First off, shout out to Dany T Law. He's seen a lot in Kroki's chat, but he also streams himself. He has his own YouTube channel. I'm sure I'm going to link it either in the title or description, so by all means go check him out. He's just recently started a YouTube channel and his streams are, they're exactly what you want, or at least exactly what I want in competitive Magic. He's very relaxed and he's not afraid to try new decks that aren't necessarily completely competitive but are still, if that makes sense. So in this instance he was trying out a Terror of the Peaks deck and he ended up slimming it down, and what became out of it is this weird sort of slapped together version of two very strong decks. So we have pieces of Rakdos Sacrifice, we have pieces of the mono black Demonic Embrace deck, and we slam them together for an altogether very awesome good time. And I would like to say, in the first few matches I take this deck into best of one because I was like, you know, it smacks. I feel like it can do good in best of one, and I still believe so. But I do think that Rakdos Sacrifice might edge it out a little bit in best of one, given that this deck needs pieces here and there, and you know, I think it has the potential to beat Rakdos, but that's the point of best of one, is you're kind of throwing yourself into the lottery. But it's a very strong deck, you know, making your Kroxa into a 9/7 with flying, and it deals 3 extra damage if your opponent discards, you know, a land, or if they don't discard anything at all. It smacks. It does a lot of damage. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into this deck tech or deck breakdown real quick, and then also, you know, we hop into some best of 3 towards the end with the deck, and I think that is where this deck truly shines. But best of 1 is still very fun, and it deals enough damage quick enough that I feel like you can play it in best of 1 perfectly fine. So hopping into this deck tech, it is a cat oven deck down here in the bottom end. You have to respect the combo. If you're playing ranked competitive Magic, sure, you may get tired of seeing it, but in all actuality, in all reality, it's cheap, it's 2 uncommons, and it's very strong, right? You can build a lot of decks off of this. It keeps you healthy. Having the food keeps you even healthier. Witch's Oven makes it to where your opponent has a harder time exiling your creatures. It's all together exactly where you want to be. Gutterbones, it's great early damage. 1 mana for a 2/1 in general is a good stat line. Not to mention the fact that you can bring this card back again and again and again. And if you if you throw Demonic Embrace onto it, now you have a 5/2 with flying, which, you know, for the amount of mana sunk into it, not bad. And for the fact that both cards can be played back from the graveyard, even better. Village Rites, awesome card, instant speed, sacrifice creature, draw 2 cards. What else could you want from a 1 mana creature other than maybe this one, right? Claim the Firstborn, gain control of target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less, untap it, it gains haste, you can then swing in and then sacrifice it with Witch's Oven or with Priest, which, you know, this is the piece, or rather these are the pieces of the Rakdos Sacrifice decks, right? Priest, Claim, Kroxa, Cauldron, that kind of stuff. So Mire Triton is going to help you mill cards, which helps you bring your Kroxa back earlier, right? Helps you get those cards you need to escape with it, which escaping 4 mana for 6/6, it's awesome considering you probably played it down for 2 and then you got Demonic Embrace, yada. Not to mention the fact that if you use Mire Triton, you have Gutterbones, you have Kroxa, and you have Demonic Embrace, all cards that you can mill but still play even after the mill, right? Priest of Forgotten Gods, or Priest of Forgotten Gods, there is no the, I don't know why I always want to do that. Anyway, sacrifice 2 creatures, your opponent has to sacrifice a creature, they lose 2 life, you gain 2 black mana, and you get to draw a card. It's a strong card, it's going to continue to be a strong card even after it rotates, and, you know, so on and so forth, but it is going to rotate here after the next set drops, so, you know, maybe don't pick it up if you're concerned with that. So Kroxa, big ol' 6/6, comes down for 2 mana, and then you can escape it for 4, and for exiling 5 other cards from your graveyard, which is why Mire Triton plus Tymaret Calls the Dead is so awesome. Tymaret Calls the Dead allows you to mill 6 cards total, get 2 zombies ideally out of it, and then you get to scry X and gain X life, where X is the number of zombies, and you actually contain a decent bit of zombies in this deck, given you have the Mire Tritons and Rotting Regisaurs, both of which are zombies. So off the bat you already have 8, not to mention the 2 you get from here. You know, you have a pretty good chance of scrying and, you know, gaining a decent little bit. Rotting Regisaur, 3 mana for a 7/6 is fantastic, and we've seen already with Demonic Embrace, giving your creature 10/8 stat line and flying is literally insane, especially when this can come online turn 4 and, you know, just start smashing. Last but not least, we have Demonic Embrace, 3 mana for this 3/1, gives your creatures flying. You can play it back from your graveyard at the low cost of 3 life and discarding a card, which discarding a card can actually be huge given you have a Kroxa and you want those cards or some cards in your graveyard to escape it out with, right? So all in all, a very, very awesome card, a very, very awesome deck, and again, hats off to Dany. Now, if you're going to play this going to play this deck in best of 3, I'll gather my thoughts here in a minute. Soul God Lantern, Agonizing Remorse, Noxus Grasp, Ember Shieldbreaker, Scorching Dragonfire, and Dreadhorde Butcher are what I recommend. Soul God Lantern helps you deal with 1 mirror matchups, Euro decks, all those escape whatever decks, right? Agonizing Remorse, great if your opponent's playing things like Genesis Ultimatum or Casualties of War, those bigger top-end spells where they just absolutely destroy your entire board in 1 turn, or build an entire board in 1 turn, you know, vice versa. Noxus Grasp, excuse me, it's good against those bot decks, destroy target creature or planeswalker that's green or white, and you gain 1 life, so Teferi, Nissa, not Yugen, but you get the point, right? Teferi and Nissa, 2 very strong, 2 very popular planeswalkers. Ember Shieldbreaker allows you to destroy target artifact, great against those mirror matchups, great if your opponent's running Soul God Lanterns, great if they're running Witch's Ovens, all that great stuff. It's good against Jund Sacrifice as well, in case they have Bolas Citadel, right? Scorching Dragonfire, another one you'll be slotting in against most Planeswalker decks, because you can deal 3 damage to Planeswalkers and exile them, which a lot of Planeswalkers decks likes to play ECD, so they can bring their Planeswalkers back. So it's all in all a great card. And then Dreadhorde Butcher, if you're looking to be a little bit more aggro, you know, throwing down this 2 mana card that gets additional counters for every time it swings in, and then throwing Demonic Embrace on it, it's really, really scary. So typically you'll see Dreadhorde Butcher come in where Priest comes out, because Priest is a little bit slower. And while it does give you a little bit of card advantage, it hits not as hard in this deck as it would a typical Rakdos Sacrifice deck. So all that being said and out of the way, we're going to try to keep these deck techs shorter. You know, 1, I've had people request that. 2, I'll be going on vacation, and so I'm kind of trying to slim up the deck so I can, you know, still put out like good 30 to 45 minute videos, good content, while being able to put out much more content, right? Anyways, on into the matches. Hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you at the end for the deck tech wrap. JCMJ gonna be our next vote for the day. Alright, so realistically we've lost 1 game, not counting either of those first 2 games where we just got literally fucked by draws. Of course, I've been watching a lot of content, and y'all know I generally watch a lot of content. Everybody's been getting fucked here recently. Everybody has been getting fucked. And it's a little curious. Oh, the instant speed quench, huh? It's gotta be quench, yeah? In which case, here, have a Kroxa. Either that or it's like a Brandborn Cutthroat. I suppose it could be Brandborn Cutthroat. Either way, we'll get down the Kroxa, we'll sacrifice it so we can gain the food and, you know, make our opponent discard something here. They just discarded a land. They have 4 cards in hand. One's probably still a land. Cunning Nightbonder. Okay, so it is a flash deck. Righto. If they have Quench, that means we actually can't pay for it with our claim unless we hit another land. No land. Hey. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Alright. Sure. Give me the cat. We're going to go for a Mire Triton here. Because again, if they want to quench something, it's probably not going to be a Mire Triton. Alright. Now, on our turn, we could potentially get down Priest and claim it, and then, you know, that kind of stuff. Alright, let's act. Opponent's just going very aggro here. Not so sure I completely agree with it, but, you know, to each their own, to each their own. Yeah. Do want to go ahead and do this, and they're saving mana. Now they're at the point where it could be a Sinister, which is really, really unfortunate for us. Because you can't dodge that, right? First things first, I want to see if this claim goes off. If they have a 3-mana counter spell, it's coming down here. Pouncing Shore Shark. Why are you... Because then I can't claim it? Because it's not a 3 CMC creature? Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Let's see how this interaction works. I'm very interested, actually. Yeah! That's a nice. That deserves a nice. Alright. So yeah, are we going for the Tymaret Calls the Dead? That will give us a defender, like an actual defender. Or do we just go ahead and get down the priest and then try to sack out their creatures? I think we get down the priest, try to sack out their creatures. We have 2 red sources, so I think we're fine there because that allows us to get our Kroxa. So let's just get a swamp. And let's get the cat back on the field so we can chum block with something. Oh, actually, should have waited to bring the cat back for when they were actually attacking, just in case they hit anything weird, you know. Anyways, our opponent is down to 12 health. We're up to 21. I think it's, you know, it's doing what it's supposed to do. They're probably going to bounce the priest here. Yeah, because then it makes it to where we can't actually tap her. Ooh, man, I love me some Pouncing Shore Shark. But again, this is kind of why these decks are bad, because you just get chum blocked for days, and then a little tiny kitty cat just keeps re-entering the battlefield and taking you out. Okay, that didn't hiccup on anything. Not gonna lie, I kind of want to go Tymaret so we can try to get our Kroxa back, but I'm like bound and determined to get this priest to work. Alright, opponent's down to 9. And they're basically at this point, they're just top decking. Well, Castle Vantress does change that a little bit if they can get another land. But other than that, you know, again, they're... I wonder what that last card could be. Is it removal for the priest? Is it more mutations for the Shore Shark? Doesn't appear to be anything. Why would you tap yourself out knowing... That's just curious to me. It's just very, very curious. Alright, well, let's go ahead and slam down the Tymaret Calls the Dead if we can. You'll see why in just a second, if it goes through. JCMJ, what do you got for me? Nothing. Heard. So yeah, the reason we want to go ahead and get down this is so we can get the zombie, and then when we go to tap with priest, we can sack these 2. Unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to leave that red mana untapped. We should have used 3 black mana, so I could have left this untapped and got a Kroxa down, because we do have enough to get Kroxa down. So that's a huge misplay, actually, because that's a potential 3 extra damage if all they have in hand is, well, land. I've already played a land this turn as well, so is... Okay, so if I tap, sack 2 creatures here, because they definitely bounce. They don't bounce anything. Okay, so then we just do here. Do we need that mana? Do we need that mana? I don't think so. They sacrificed the Cunning Nightbonder. They sack the Cunning Nightbonder. Eventually. Eventually, that's what they do. There we go. Another priest, you don't say. You don't say. Oh yeah, right, next to damage. And then we'll get the priest down. Yeah, so be careful about doing that, about sacking your creatures during your attack phase, because it doesn't carry over with the mana. But if you know that no matter what you draw out of your deck, you're going to be able to play, which we are, because everything is 3 CMC or less, you know, minus reviving the Kroxa, of course, then you're fine. You're all fine and dandy. Now we can chump block with the priest here up against a pouncing shore shark and get our cat back off of that. And I think that's well worth it. Had it not been a dunce, you know, we could have also made them actually discard a card, which would have been very useful. Very, very useful. Alright, JCMJ. And we're picking up our first victory. Fantastic. It's beautiful what this wonderful world of Magic can do to you. We're going to get down the Gutterbones. We're going to get down the... probably the Kroxa. We'll see. I might just actually go for the Village Rites because I have an eerily bad feeling like we're going to get screwed. Like mana screwed. Who knows? This could be the diamond in the rough though. This could be the one game of Magic we get tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Because, like, I'm getting tired. Shit, I've already worked tonight. I didn't want to come home and fucking roll the dice on this. To say the least, this. Alright, so we go ahead and grab red mana just in case we don't see it in the future, right? And it helps with our Kroxa and all that. No attacks, and we're all good. Also, my mouse is like caught. Alright, opponent's playing Sultai. Not surprised in the least bit. Do we just go for the Demonic Embrace on the Gutterbones? It's an interesting thought. But if they do have a Quench or something, they're just taking out the Demonic Embrace, right? Or if they have a Brazen Borrower, they're bouncing Gutterbones. It just feels like there's way too much for them to do to us in that situation. So instead, we'll go for a Kroxa. We'll make them discard, and we'll Village Rites our Kroxa. Alright, Synchro, what do you get rid of? And what do you got for us, more importantly? Nothing. That means it probably was a Quench. Doubt it was a Brazen Borrower, otherwise they probably would have still played it up against the Gutterbones. But yeah, it could have very well been a Quench. I could see Sultai running Quench just for the Bont decks that it may run into, right? With the Teferis, that kind of stuff. We'll see though. We shall see, we shall see. Alright, we can go Demonic Embrace here and me not feel so bad about it onto the Gutterbones and then just have it swinging in. Could also go for the Rotting though, and this might be one of our only chances of getting Rotting down given they're all tapped out. So let's do it, let's hit the Rotting. Am I saving for a Village Rites in case they go to destroy Rotting, or am I going for a Witch's Oven? I think I'm going for the Village Rites. Alright, let's see it. Let us see it. Euro. What else you got? counter magic, you still have that quench more than likely. They didn't play whatever they had on that turn 2, so. What are we discarding here? I mean, we could actually discard Demonic Embrace. The problem is it makes us discard whenever we replay it, right? Y'all aren't gonna like this, but I think we actually discard the Witch's Oven. No, no! You know that horrible, horrible feeling in Magic where you're so, maybe y'all don't know it, but you're so accustomed, you're so used to like moving your cards around. You go to do it during the discard phase, and for some reason they understand that you may not want, and we are going to shock this in case they have the quench. And we're putting this on the Gutterbones actually because Rotting can already get through a Boreal Grazer, so turning it into a 10 power instead of a 7 power, like they're still just going to chum block, right? No damage gets through. However, we throw it onto the Gutterbones, it goes up to a 5/2. Now, you know, they block the 7/6, we get in with 5 damage. All's well that ends well. But yeah, like for some reason they're, alright, phone. For some reason, Wizards of the Coast understands that you may not want to activate an activated ability, right? You may not, just because you clicked on it, maybe you accidentally clicked, maybe you're reading it and accidentally clicked. So what I'm not understanding is how in that same update did we not get the confirmation for discard? That feels like one of the first things you should be asking people's confirmation on. Are you sure you want to discard this card? Are you sure you're not misclicking? I can understand misclicking in a game like League of Legends costing you the game, in a game like CSGO costing you the game. In a game like Magic the Gathering, where if you're playing on tabletop and you're like, you know, you're not gonna accidentally like, oh, fuck, that's the card I discarded. And if you do, what are you doing? Kind of Magic. Oh yeah? You just taking that shit on the chin, huh? Just taking that shit on the chin. So they're at potentially 6 mana. That is the casualties. Does casualties save them? Yeah, they can kill our Rotting, and then we're left with the 5/2 and a 2/1. But we're also using our Village Rites to draw cards. And we still have enough mana regardless to get down the Kroxa. We can get enough cards over here in the graveyard, which is exile 5 other cards. We might could get to. Oh, it's a simple little crisis. Okay. So then we're not Village Riting anything, right? Or I guess we could Village Rite that 2/1 Gutterbones. Let's see, we swing it with the 5/2, they block with the crisis. We swing it with the 7/6, they block with the Grazer, which means the 2 damage is the only thing getting through, and they're down to 5 health then. Okay. Synchro. Buddy, pal, friend o' mine, if you could, thank you kindly. Another Rotting Regisaur. Hell yeah, sign me up. Sign me up, sign me up. So, Hydroid blocks the gutter. Yep. And then, yeah, ooh. Synchro, yeah. You madman. Alright, then we get Demonic Embrace back over here. I don't know why that didn't light up for the Gutterbones. I don't know why I returned the Gutterbones, honestly. It's just gonna get discarded, but whatever. We weren't gonna use that 2 mana for anything anyways. Make our opponent think about things. So yeah, they actually can't go for something. They can't. Let me make that very clear. Go for something like casualties, because that'll be the end of them. They go for another crisis. Well, that's a GG. I do enjoy your math skills. I think they're exceptional, Synchro. Sorry, I should really not talk so much shit. But this does mean that we're finally in Platinum. which is awesome. Shincan. I like that name. Don't ask me why, but I like it. Shincan. Sure, we'll keep it. This looks like if I was up against this, I would be annoyed, right? So that's generally what I go for in decks when I'm playing ranked. I'm like, man, would I hate to see that against me? Yeah, probably. So many choices. Why don't we just take things slow? Of course, I guess this deck isn't meant to take things too slow, huh? It'll be alright. So yeah, the trip. Our plane got canceled, which, you know, sucks. But immediately we pivoted and said, you know what? We'll just drive. So in like 20 days, we're gonna be driving from Georgia all the way to Oregon. There we go. There's the destination. All right, so we have a few options here. Before I continue my story of nonsense, we can throw down the Kroxa and use Village Rites, draw 2 cards, make them discard something, get Kroxa out of our hand, that kind of stuff. We can go for Tymaret, Calls the Dead, fill up our graveyard, you know, maybe hit something kind of nice there. Get a zombie down. If they're playing something like a Quench, what would I prefer to do? Right? Kroxa, because you don't I think I just muted myself. You don't generally want to counter that. Although I should throw this in full control. Don't resolve. Don't resolve. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, just in case they had a Quench there. Nobody wants to counter a Kroxa because, well, you can always just recast it later, right? It could just be Soul Top Ramp though, and it could just be a growth spiral here. Who knows? Oh no, they're just drawing a card. Okay. Priest is nice. Anyway, so plane got canceled. So we're driving out there now, which Google Maps says it takes 1 day and what was it, 15 hours, right? So basically a day and 2/3 of a day. Which isn't that bad. We're accounting for it taking like 2.5 days, you know, instead of a day and 2/3, 2.5. I feel like that's reasonable given we're not robots or machines and there's only 2 of us, and you know, I'll be driving a lot of it. So we're getting close to that Kroxa. I actually like the idea of going up to 5 mana here, given we have things like that Demonic Embrace and Tymaret and Priest. I don't feel like mana is too terrible for this deck. And if we don't want it, we can always discard it later with Demonic Embrace, right? So again, they have 2 mana. Could be a Quench. I guess we could throw out Witch's Oven first to see if it is. Test the waters. And then try to get down Priest. Sure. See if it snags. It does, but they have Mazemon. Alright, let's swing in. You bastard. Alright, well, let's try to get down Priest. Hey, it hits. Although, logically, I think I might should have gone for the 3 mana spell there, given come the next turn I'll have 4 mana, which means if they did have a Quench, or do draw into Quench, if they play it in general, come this next turn, if I play Priest, I have mana to pay for Quenched, whereas now I don't have mana to pay for Tymaret / Demonic, right? Unless, well, I do draw the land. I guess that's fine either way, huh? Diving too much into a completely pointless topic. Alright, so they're taking Tymaret here, for sure. You don't take Demonic Embrace. Not when I have 2 and you can play it back from the graveyard. It's just not good enough. Anyways, trying to explain this, right? So driving from here to there, we're getting ourselves 2.5 days. We did add 2 days to the trip, which is part of the reason I'm stressed a little bit. But you know, whatever. Stress comes and goes. You just gotta learn to love it. It's part of life, honestly. So, did I tap my Witch's Oven the other turn, by the way? I certainly meant to. I don't know if I did or not, but you know, fuck it. If not, whatever. The opponent only has 1 mana. I'm super happy to see that. There's not, is there any 1 mana counter spells? Not really. It's just like 1 mana bounce spells. Yeah, and if they bounce my priest, like whatever. You don't have any creatures for me to take out the priest anyways. It's just thought that counts. Anyways, so 2.5 days. We extended the trip by 2 days since instead of flying out there, flying back, we're driving out there, driving back. Which gotta say is, it's not driving out there, whatever. It's the drive back that's gonna be rough because we're driving out there. We're gonna have been there for, you know, a week, and then we gotta drive back. Also, in situations like this, I don't understand why more people don't swing in with their priest. Like, what are you protecting? Come on, live a little. Smack them, fuck them up. We have lethal on our next turn. Like, we just throw Demonic Embrace on priest. That's 8 damage. Sack cat, rebring it back. 9, right? Something like that. So yeah, added 2 days to the trip, which means I gotta have 2 extra days of content. And for you Twitch people, by the way, little heads up, I'm thinking about doing a mini series on the YouTube channel. 1 for each week that I'm gone. Basically, 1 will be how to brew, so kind of like the podcast we just had, except my own personal take on it. And I'm gonna be basically building or brewing a deck with y'all, the audience, over the course of 3 videos. Each video is gonna roughly be like 15 minutes. It just gives me something that I can like put out one, you know, basically fill 3 days. Feels a little greasy, but at the same time, I don't want to slap together a 45-minute video and say, hey, here's how to brew, because I know most people probably won't watch all the way to the end, whereas if I do it in 15-minute segments, people are much more likely to watch all the way through. And
if I were you, I'd just surrender right now.
Well, hell, I probably should surrender right now, not gonna lie. You just lily on my ass. Why did I resolve that instead of using Witch's Oven? Because I'm a doofus. Because I'm a whole doofus. You know. We don't always have the answers to everything. We just do the best we can. Also, we could have just drawn a card with Castle Locthwain there, but in all reality, you throw down a Kroxa, you force them to not discard a land, right? Sounds fun to me. Sounds fun and dandy. They'll use their Liliana and put down what's it called? They can use their Mazemon and gain some life, but at the end of the day, I got a creature that keeps coming back for more, and then an aura that can also come back for more. So fuck it, we'll swing in until we can't swing no more, right? Yugen gonna come down, destroy our Kroxa. That's actually really bad because we can't just immediately get Kroxa back. Oh, what? You see what I have in my hand, and you decide no? I mean, I get it. You can use Mazemon to gain life at the last minute, so I don't exactly have lethal. But at the same time, I'm pretty damn close. Huh. I wonder what the logic there is. Like, yeah, just fuck it. Rely on Mazemon. I love it. I absolutely love it. My question, do we actually kill the Yugen, given it can come back and kill us, or do we just crack him for the face? How much life you gain? 4? God, why can't I trust us just being able to finish it? Fuck it. Kill the Yugen. They messed up. I may be messing up now. Well, the world may never know. So yeah, mini-series coming to the channel. And I guess for the YouTube people too, you know, depending on who watches this video or whatever. So got rid of baby Yugen, got rid of big Yugen. I mean, I guess at this point we're just hoping and praying we can kill them some manner. It is Sultai ramp, so don't underestimate. This better be a big crisis. This better be the world's largest crisis.
Effective.
You're gonna be shocking a land. I don't want all this hoopla, Shinken. Yugen. Oh baby. Oh baby. Exile it. Fucking do it. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. Alright, beautiful. Thanks for the card draw. Don't mind if I do. That's what we call the one-sided board wipe. Alrighty, so do we just throw down Rotting and throw a Demonic Embrace on it, discard the Mire Triton? Or do we throw down Mire Triton, go ahead and slap the Demonic Embrace on it, and not have near as big of a creature? Well, that sounds like a pretty easy decision all in all, if I'm being honest. I like how it makes you select yourself. Who else is going to pay 3 life? Dave? You know, no. You got to pay the life. Alright, so they can Yugen again, I suppose, in which case we sacrifice Rotting Regisaur.
What a good, mindless minion.
What a good mindless minion. You think they exile again? They just tick Yugen down further? They do. They said try again. That's fine, just keep exiling those little zombos. No, you silence, dude. Anyways, mini-series coming to the YouTube channel. I'm getting distracted, I know. So that'll be nice for those of you that have been asking, hey, can we see how you brew? Can we see... Don't ask me why I tossed that land, given it was a land. We have plenty... Well then, I'll be fucking damned. You know what's unfortunate about this? I could theoretically throw this on their creature just to get down my Kroxa, but then it gives their creature +3 in flying and like a whole bunch of stuff I just don't want, right? And I also wouldn't be able to cast my Kroxa. Alright, fine. I guess we're just gaining life. We're just living steady. Okay, I can respect that, Yugen. I really do. I don't know if we got this in the end. Joke's on you, motherfucker. Thought he erased this swamp. Anyways, mini-series is coming. I got a new series that I'm going to be trying to record in this upcoming set of off days, right? We won't eat both the food because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little paranoid when it comes to my cat ovens. I like to keep one extra food because you never know, right?
They were a lousy servant anyway.
Liliana, you can't just shit talk your servants. That's how you get your soup spit in. You know? Just sounds like bad manners. And here I'm always repping you, telling you how much I love you. God damn. Alright, everybody. You better get ready. I'm about to start taxing. For those of you who don't understand the reference, it's because I'm a landlord. So what do y'all think? If I throw down Kroxa, do they... Well, that's some lovely lands I have there. How many lands do I have over here? Ah. Unfortunately, I still need one more card in my my little discard pile, huh? Otherwise, I have to get rid of this Demonic Embrace. Is that worth it? We know their Yugen is just gonna like minus again, or their Liliana's gonna minus, right? Fuck it. What do we gotta lose? Then when they go to kill it, I just sacrifice it again, and you know we're in the same position we were like 5 turns ago. This is a very interesting standard that we're in, ladies and gentlemen. I will say that it's very, very interesting standard. By the way, I came to best of 3. I didn't actually check to make sure that I built out the sideboard for this. Or that the other matches were best of 3. Who needs organization when you can just kind of wing it and edit stuff? Anyways. I should probably check on chat, huh? Best chance to say him is this trouble. Well, I just came in the middle of a conversation. The bearded fox. By the way, thanks for the raid. You think I'm drawing anything but lands? That's funny, Shinkin. If I was drawing anything except for lands, don't you think I'd be using it? Wait. Oh man, that was a nice.
I do love a good death wail. I've learned much from your death.
Oh man. It just hit -1. Sorry, Kroxa's not that cheap. Honestly, if I were Kroxa, I would be offended thinking it only costed 1 mana. I gotta say, I like playing up against Sultai ramp a hell of a lot more than Bant ramp, and I'm a little biased because Sultai ramp has Liliana. I hate getting what's that big card? The 6 mana, destroy all your shit. Casualties. Hate getting casualties of war, but you know this I'm okay with. And who's to say we won't figure some way out of coming back and getting them, you know? Eventually that Yugen will have to kill himself, right? Or we'll stop making food. One of us will mill ourselves. Yeah, the game will end is what I'm saying. All good things must come to an end. Look at that. We finally drew something that wasn't a land or a Kroxa. I'll take it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in it. We're in it like spinach? That doesn't really work, huh? We'll need to figure something out there. I'll just go pay the writers of my jokes to work something out. Burn for you too. Zombie death touch tribal? That sounds like an awesome cup of tea. Look at this. I really feel like a king right now. All these lambs, all this food. I feel like a fat king, not a good king, a fat one. Hey, wait a minute. Move your face, Euro. I know what you're thinking, Chance. You should have surrendered several minutes ago. But in ranked, I really have a hard time surrendering. It's just one of those things I don't like to do, you know?
This looks like a fun new toy.
Wasn't that interesting? The dilemma here, right? So there's always a dilemma. The dilemma here is if we take their zombie, obviously we get to swing in, but it's not a whole lot of damage. If we take their Euro, their zombie just sort of blocks it. So, you know, we're killing their zombie and their Euro, but the zombie's not a big deal. To where if I take the zombie, I can kill the Yugen at least. Let's draw a card. Let's wait. All good things in due time. Psych. Don't know what I was thinking there. I was like, yeah, I have enough life. Let's do it. I have more than 2 life. That's okay. At that point, I was pretty much grasping at straws, but I think we could have made it. All right, so we want some scorching for sure. Soul God does hit their Euro, so sure, why not? Green or white? I didn't see any green or white, though I know they probably play Nissa. Nah. What are we getting rid of here? Priest. Priest is not as good. Matter of fact, do we just go aggro? Because here's the thing, up against like, if I still hit Rotting though, it's still better than Dreadhorde, right? What are you doing, Kroxa? You're definitely going in there. Alright, I think this is good. Tymaret Calls the Dead is generally a little slower. Yes, you're getting an extra unit, but generally those units are sacrificed with Priest. We don't need the Scry and life gain that much. I think this is fun. Yeah, don't rush me. I still had 30 seconds. Lord knows what can happen in 30 seconds, right? Definitely play first. You definitely want to... I know what it looks like, but it's really not that bad. Sure, one or two more lands would be nice, but I hate mulligan down to 6. I hate mulliganing in general. In a scenario like this where you can still get down Cat Oven, I say hoorah. Or hooray. Y'all know what I'm saying. Alright, so this is, oh man. I got such a what do they take here? Witch's Oven? Right? Or Mire Triton, maybe? Probably the Witch's Oven though, yeah. I got a lot of chat to catch up on, but also got a really did a Virginia to Washington drive, and we'll never do that again. Yeah, I mean that's about the same, man. It's not as steep of an angle, but you know, whatever. That's incredible. So am I going for the Kroxa, or do you go for the cheeky demonic embrace on your kitty cat, swing in, take him down to 13? Knowing that it's Sultai ramp. Alright, well, knowing that it's Sultai ramp, I want to go Mire Triton and try to get some shit in the graveyard for my Kroxa, right? By the way, did I use my Cat Oven? I definitely need to be if I'm not. Thought it only fair. Hey, well that's nice of you to be using the decks, man. Or a woman, you know. Who's to say what gender a bearded fox is? I don't like to be judging. Alright, let's do it. Demonic Embrace, go! Smack him. I guess I should have sacrificed the Mire Triton there. I don't know what I was thinking. You get the one extra food, right? Really need to hit a land drop here, but we've been going dry for so long, I'm kind of expecting one. Usually check on chat. Oops, streaming at the same time. Yeah, Max got it. And generally I'm sitting here like telling stories and shit. I get all kinds of distracted while I'm playing Magic and doing stuff, trying to explain my plays. Not that there's There's a great deal of thought that goes into my plays, you know. If there wouldn't be nearly as many misplays. Am I right, Mac? I make my fair share of misplays, Lord knows. Hi, Eva. Okay, well, you're gonna have to wait a minute. Love you. I've been reported that there's a bug that I need to go deal with after this. I'm gonna get a sip of root beer because Shinken is taking his time. I can understand that. Thinking late at night is always a toughie. Ritual sip. Why must the good always die young? Rotting Regisaur. The poor lad was just a 3 CMC creature. He doesn't even know what a good life is. That's alright, I'll avenge you. This bastard won't win. Not 2-0, Rotting. Not 2-0. So yeah, I mean, we could throw Demonic Embrace on our Kroxa come next turn, right? Smack them around a little bit. Unless, of course, they have more removal here. Of course they have more removal here. Are you crazy, Chad? Do you think this is going to be an easy game? You funny. Look at all this food, though. Maybe this is why people play Jund Sacrifice, because they got tired of playing Rakdos Sacrifice and be like, what am I supposed to do? I got nothing but food all day. Get out of here, Liliana.
Ugh, well, this was unpleasant.
Yeah, well, you know, it's sad to see you go to the enemy side. I thought we had a good thing going. You're gonna betray me for Shinken. Alright, yeah, throw down your euro. And then I'll claim it. Alright, we all know I'm gonna eat this food. I'm a fat bastard and I can't help it. Soul God, that's really, really good. Alright, so give me your euro. Then hiya in the face, right? Bam! Nice. Nice, he says. You tell me what's nice and what's not nice. So I can sacrifice it. I'm definitely getting down Soul God this turn, so might as well get the card draw, right? Give me that. Ooh. Ooh. Nah, I really need to do this. I really need to take advantage, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, okay. Stop yelling at me, Chad. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it happily, actually. Happily, actually. Sure, I'll take a Village Rites. You'll never see me turn down a 1 mana draw 2 cards. That's a rare day. Share your deck. You're recording for YouTube. Yeah. You came across my channel. Alright, we got Baby Yugen. Nothing sounds much better in the world than a Baby Yugen. Alright. You can sacrifice, draw a card. I'd rather save it though. You never know when they're gonna hit another euro, and yeah, it's all downhill from there. So. We got 5 cards over there. Oh, let's mill some. Let's mill a few. Another Kroxa. I'm gonna exile. What am I gonna exile? Rotting? Yeah. Alright, so if I shock this, I can have 3 mana, but it's not enough for demonic. It's not enough, or I mean, it is enough for demonic. But again, I just made that whole spell. I'm not gonna discard a Village Rites. That's insane to me. Alright, well, then you're entering tapped. And I guess we're just big chilling for the turn, yeah? No rush? No rush. Right now I'm really liking zombies and Death Touch Travel. Oh, you were saying you like my zombies and Death Touch Travel. Yeah. I love that zombies deck. Anytime I can play zombies, sign me up. Problem is I probably try to play zombies sometimes when you shouldn't be playing zombies. That, angels, merfolk, not so much. So wait, what are you actually getting rid of here? You getting my token and my Tymaret? Well, you're an absolute bastard. You know that? I don't much care for that. Hey, landlord, popping back at it.
All creation can be undone.
Gotta say, I'm not a fan of the two Ugins. Not a fan. Another Soul God, not exactly what you want to see. If I throw down Kroxa, they definitely use Ugin again, but there's one of two ways of dealing with Ugin. Obviously attacking him, which we're not going to get the chance to do. Or you just continuously make him pay for himself to where he stays low enough you don't have to worry about it, right? I think that's what we're going to do here. We could also draw a card with Castle. It's a little risky though, because if I draw another land, yeah, fuck it. Let me see if I have the cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. We can do this. That one. Hey, shut up, timer. I'm on a mission here. Hey, they only had a land. Oh, man. Alright, so they're definitely going to hit us with Ugin. Do I go ahead and discard a card with Demonic Embrace? Well, I can at least discard something of my own. Yeah. For sure. For sure. We don't care about the life. Okay, y'all may hate me for this. My logic here, by the way, in case you're wondering, is if I have this land, I can use Castle Lockplane plus get down to Kroxa. Of course, I guess the logic could also be you can pay for, what's it called? So let's see, what are they doing? Destroying, okay, I mean. All they're really destroying here is a land and Witch's Oven. Granted, that land is Castle Lockplane, which is a big fucking deal. We got enough food, I suppose. It just really sucks for the Ugin exile. That's the main problemo. But our opponent's at 5 health, which means if we can just keep fucking smacking them with Kroxa, at some point we'll be okay. And I mean, hell, they're swinging in all willy-nilly as if I don't run Claim the Firstborn. So that's fun. We can do this plus Demonic Embrace, right? That's a thing. That's a thing that happens. Whoop. Here's the thing, if I swing in, I'm 1 damage off. If I swing and hit their Ugin, he can still exile my shit, so never mind. What am I talking about? Of course, you're swinging and hitting. Fuck him up. That's super unfortunate. We need the card draw here. You will concede if the match. Oh, if it expires. Oh, okay, I'm not too concerned about that. All right, so we need a kitty cat, right? Good old-fashioned kitty cat. Not much else. Don't have a euro, by the way. Please, por favor. Nope. Alright, well, we need them to have 2 lands. 2 lands. 2 lands. Damn. All right. Oh, actually, I think we're still dead here, right? There, Yugen pings me and then 8 to the face. Fuck! Alright. Alrighty, you made it all the way through the matches. First and foremost, thank you for watching me play this deck, and, you know, not even to its prime optimum capacity. However you want to say that, right? But the deck tech wrap-up is very difficult in these decks where it's already a competitive deck made by a very, you know, smart and intelligent Magic player. So sometimes it's hard for me to find additional cards that are good, but we're gonna try. And I do have a little bit of a list over here, but since the sideboard is filled up, the main board's filled up, it's a little hard for me to like decide on where I'm gonna put these cards. So we're just gonna throw them right here for today. Anyways, if you're enjoying the content, or if you did enjoy the content, please be sure to leave a like down below, comment in the comment section if you have any suggestions on this deck, the play style, the commentary style, any of that great stuff. Subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content. One, it helps support the channel. Two, gives you updates whenever I put out videos and posts and all that good information, right? If you're looking to catch us play these decks live, I highly recommend you hop over to twitch.tv/DrSpillikin and drop a follow. And then last but not least, in the description of all the videos, there is a link to the Discord. There's a link to a lot of stuff actually that you'll find down there. Highly recommend you check it out. There's a lot of good people over there. So for the deck tech wrap up, a lot of this is just other options you can potentially play in the deck or whatever. So Archfiend's Vessel, I'm going to have tons of comments. Hey, can you play this in this deck? Yes, you can. Is it as good as Gutterbones or Cauldron Familiar? It's not as consistent, no. But, you know, if you throw 4 copies of Archfiends and you throw in Call the Death Dweller, which is one of our recommended cards over here because it allows you to get back Kroxa, Mire Triton, you know, in combination with Cauldron or Gutterbones, which is pretty good, and your Priest as well. Then, you know, you can have these 5/5 black demons which are causing mayhem, and, you know, I think at that point you're going in a little bit of a different direction, given your 5/5 black demon tokens don't need flying. Of course, still throwing Demonic Embrace on them does make them go up to 8 damage, which is nice. It's up to you, you know. Basically, these cards are what I believe to be on a similar power level and can deliver you similar results. But I don't know if Archfiend's Vessel is necessarily going to be as consistent. Yes, it'll be very fun. It'll kind of keep you healed up a little bit, I guess, if you can swing in with the lifelink. But again, if you're going to be doing something like this with Call the Death Dweller and Archfiends, you might want to think about turning it into a Lourdes deck. Like just having Lourdes in here. You know, maybe not actually companion Lourdes, but just throw it in the deck in general, right? It can't get back your Demonic Embraces, but all this down in the lower end, like replaying Kroxa for 2 just to get the ability off, it's pretty nice. So if you're going to go Archfiends and Call the Death Dweller, I would seriously, you know, consider it. But again, I didn't put Lourdes over here because I feel like at that point you're sort of going in a different direction with the deck. So whatever. There it is. I mentioned it. If you don't like Agonizing Remorse Duress, you know, it's 1 less mana, but you can't take creatures and you don't get to exile it. Honestly, I think Agonizing Remorse is better. It's gonna stick around, you know, it's rotation proof, it's only an uncommon. Sure, it may be 2 mana, sure it costs you a life, but all in all, worth it overall. But I know people will say, hey, what about Duress? Because Duress is like, it's like the Opt for mono black or the Shock for mono red, right? It's just a staple. It's just always gonna be there. But again, it's all about efficiency, and I think Agonizing Remorse is better. Serrated Scorpion, if you don't like Gutterbones, you don't like the risk of like having to pull it back and pay that mana or whatever. Maybe you just don't own Gutterbones because it is a rare, and let's be real, it's rotating out. Serrated Scorpion is actually fantastic in that slot as well. One, it comes down as a 1/2, so it's great against the aggro matchups like mono red and that sort of nature. Furthermore, whenever it dies, it's going to heal you and deal 2 to your opponent, so really good in that manner as well. Kite Self Rebooter, it's kind of like an Agonizing Remorse or a Duress where you're getting to reveal your opponent's hand and take a card. However, it's also a creature with flying, so it also helps you deal extra damage. And let's be real, let's say you have a Demonic Embrace and an Agonizing Remorse in hand and it's near late game, you're going to wish that Agonizing Remorse was a Kite Self Rebooter that you could get down and then throw Demonic Embrace, and while it doesn't gain flying, it still goes up to a solid 4 points of damage. You know, you can actually win a game with that. 5 swing-ins with the Kite Cell with Demonic Embrace, and you're bringing home the bacon. Call the Death Dweller, we've already touched on in depth. You know, return up to 2 target creature cards with converted mana cost total 3 or less from your graveyard, put a death touch counter on either of them, then put a menace counter. It's good. It's really, really good. If you're going to be bringing back Kroxa this way, do not put the death touch or menace counter on it, as you know it's going to get sacrificed. So put it on your lower creature. And then last but not least, Dany T Law actually recommended this in the sideboard himself. He said it might be good in the matchups against Rakdos, because obviously they're going to be trying to sacrifice a whole lot of things, and if you have your own Mayhem Devil, then you also get procs off of their sacrifices. You have the Kroxa that's going to be sacrificed, and you have Village Rites, you have Witch's Oven, you know, you have the food from Witch's Oven, you have Priest, so you have plenty of sack outlets in this deck. But again, it's taken up one of these 3 slots, which it's very hard to argue with the amount of value that these 3 already bring. Maybe if you want to play it in main board, you cut out a copy of Tymaret, maybe 2, maybe a copy of Rotting, you know, maybe 1/1, throw in Mayhem Devil. Anyways, like I said, it's a little difficult for me to recommend cards in an already very, very competitive deck when, 1, I'm not a very competitive player, 2, like, I'm sure Dany did his homework and, you know, looked through all the cards to find the best ones for the deck. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Once again, give yourself a good old pat on the back for watching all the way through. I do appreciate it. And make sure you're hopping over, checking out Dany's channel. If nothing else, you know, toss him a sub and see if he puts out anything you might want to see in the future. Thanks everybody. I'm going to get out of here. Peace.